Hey, what's up? It's Chris from chrisbeatcancer.com, and I'm here with Julie at Chiapetta. We are at the Healing Strong Conference on the Cancer Survivor couch, wearing the same color shirt, which was planned by God.
Yes.
So, Julie has an amazing survivor story, and she is also one of the organizers of the Annie Appleseed Conference, along with Ann Fonfa. And so, will you just take a quick minute and explain what the conference is for people that have no idea what this is about?
Sure. The Annie Appleseed Conference is an annual conference where scientists, practitioners, and doctors present alternative protocols for healing platforms for cancer. It's amazing. There are things that you hear here that you would not hear anywhere else. There are wonderful things going on all over the world, healing people, helping them to stay well, to maintain their health. And we walk the walk and talk the talk here in terms of providing a clean environment, a safe environment. We have clean ionized air in our meeting rooms. We provide a strictly organic, vegetarian, vegan diet. The food is amazing. Did you like the food?
Yes,
Did you enjoy
the food.
Did you enjoy the lunch?
So this is day 3, and I ate the food 2 nights ago, Friday night. Yesterday's lunch was just this amazing organic buffet that was just so good. I mean, it's so refreshing when you're traveling, especially, to get like a huge buffet of raw and organic food. It was
coconut
killer.
oil.
Oh yeah, it was killer.
Gluten-free.
Yeah.
So we have great food. And Ann Fonfa is the founder of the organization, and she's amazing. She's been providing advocacy and education for the last 15 years. Our organization is run strictly with volunteers. And like what you do, we also provide information and guidance to people who need our help. And that's our mission. That's why we're doing this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about giving back and doing God's work in the community and helping people to find the right doctors, to find the right protocols. We are not doctors. We're not prescribing anything, but we are talking to them about what we've come to know and the people
sharing
we've
information.
met. Sharing information. It's all about sharing.
Yeah, it is. And so I really have this has been a great event for anybody watching this. It's a small event, by the way. I mean, what is the 200 people? 225
people.
Yeah, and it's sold out this year. So we're in what year is this? 2014. For 2015, you want to book, if you think you want to come, it's in Florida, West Palm Beach. Book your ticket early because this thing sold out. And it probably will. They don't plan on growing it really much bigger than this because they like it small. So anyway, okay.
We like it small because people actually get to meet one another and touch and feel all of our speakers. Like you yesterday, once you spoke, you had people that you were able to actually then sidebar with after your talk.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing with some of our doctors who are doing amazing things, who otherwise you would have to make an appointment and fly to their office wherever they are, and now you get to see them and talk with them and have a free consult.
That's right. And everyone has been so generous with their time. I mean, that's important for me to do, but I've also observed the other speakers being equally as generous with their time and spending time talking with people, and they don't just fly in and fly out. Well, most of them don't. But okay, so let's tell your story.
Well, my story started in 2000. I had a huge business. I was a meeting planner and doing PR for several large companies, traveling all over the world, working 80, 90 hours a week.
So a very successful businesswoman.
Very successful, a lot of stress.
Yeah.
But I was also an extreme athlete.
Okay.
And
training. Marathon running?
Running, marathons, triathlons. And I just thought I was healthy.
Yeah.
I thought I was eating healthy. I'm Italian. I was eating a Mediterranean diet. And so my gynecologist on my 30th birthday taught me how to self-examine.
Okay.
That was sort of her gift to me. So I had been doing it for about 10 plus years. And one night, my ritual on one Sunday a month, I was self-examining, and I found what felt like a little mosquito bite on the outer right edge of my right breast. But it was March, and I'm in Connecticut. It was freezing, so there were no mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And I knew it was something different. And I just knew from self-examining that it was odd. It didn't feel right to me. So I went to my doctor the next day. She sent me for a mammogram. And I had just had a mammogram 2 months prior to this day. And that was also negative. So the surgeon looked at me and said, you're fine, it's nothing, and you need to just come back in 6 months. And I just knew, I had a gut feeling, I just knew God was nudging me. I knew that there was something wrong, and I really had to start crying to get the surgeon to pay attention to me and to say, look, I really would like to have a biopsy. So reluctantly, he said, okay. We had the biopsy the next day. The following day, he called me, and the first words out of his mouth were, I am so sorry. I learned a very important lesson. I need to listen to my patients. And you have stage 2B infiltrating ductal carcinoma. It's aggressive. You need to do something right away. You need to come into my office. We're going to schedule a mastectomy. We're going to put you on a round of chemo, and we'll follow up with tamoxifen. So I went to go see him 2 days later, and prior to that, I had prayed about the whole situation. The first thing I did was really get on my knees and pray and try to find some peace and some guidance from God in this whole turmoil, and get my brain around what I was dealing with, because there's so many things that come at you so quickly.
That's right. It's a whirlwind.
Boom.
It's everybody. I think a lot of people, even that don't have cancer, sort of understand that it's a whirlwind that happens, and you're basically, there's a sense of urgency that's created by the medical community that they really want to rush you into do this right away. There's no time to lose, and you don't have time to think.
You don't. And what I've learned through my research is that cancer had been growing. It took 5 to 10 years for that cancer to grow in my body. And so I decided to take 2 months off from work, from my daily life, to just do research. I'm a problem solver by nature. It's what I have to do in my job for my clients. And so I put those skills to work for myself, and along with a friend who I'd been training with at my gym, who I just met, who ended up being my angel, somebody who I barely knew, came alongside of me and said, I'm going to help you do the research. He was a scientist, and he had a lot of knowledge that was very helpful to me. So we started doing research, and as a result of that, I implemented a totally vegan diet. I threw out everything in my house: makeup, cleaning solutions, microwave, everything that I could think of that was toxic or that would potentially harm me. And I started eating things that I had never heard of. I started juicing and doing wheatgrass. I was doing wheatgrass shots. Wheatgrass was really the foundation of my healing platform, because wheatgrass has B17, which is naturally occurring natural. And when I started drinking that wheatgrass, I started coming alive. My body was like changing. It was like a flower that hadn't been watered for a long time, and suddenly you see this little green bud. And everything was changing. My sleep was better. My energy level was better. My skin was better. My hair was better. Everything was just healing, and I could feel it.
How much wheatgrass were you drinking?
I was doing 3 2-ounce shots a day.
Okay. Yeah.
And I did that for about 6 years.
And then what else were you juicing at that time?
I was juicing green drinks.
Yeah. So what was in those typically?
So kale, bok choy, spinach, arugula, ginger, lemon, maybe a wedge of green apple. Okay. Because you never want to do fruits and vegetables at the same time in your juice, so you don't want to have that sugar anyway. And then I was eating mostly raw, like lots of quinoa, lentils, greens, seeds, nuts. So it was a very, very big transition. I'm Italian. I was used to eating cheese and pasta and chicken, and so I was eating nothing with a mother basically for 6 years. And I still follow that protocol now, but I have interjected some. Once in a while, I'll have some cheese or salmon or, and
it's like a fraction of your diet.
It's a fraction.
Like less than 5% probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing was sleep. You need to have really good rest. And I was a night owl. I was, getting in late from business meetings. So I had to really train myself to go to sleep at 9 o'clock, 9:30, get in bed, make it a soothing place, make it a place where you can easily fall asleep and rest, because that is when your cells can heal and regenerate. When you're sleeping, you're not digesting food, your body isn't expending any energy to digest, so that's really important. Clean.
Sleep is when your body heals. I did the same thing, and
that's why you look so good.
so you were like a workaholic, though, right? You were working 80, 90 hours a week. Plus, you were doing extreme athleticism, which all this raises your stress level.
It does.
I mean, you were probably just stressed to the max, and stress suppresses the immune system, right?
Exactly.
And then, of course, an unhealthy diet promotes disease as well. And so you've got all these factors. And I've said that, I say this a lot, but cancer is not just one thing you did. It's the convergence of all these unhealthy lifestyle and dietary choices and environmental pollution and toxic chemicals, like all this stuff coming together in your life and staying in your life for many months or even years, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, in my case, it was probably 20 years of all this stuff
of living that way.
It's like a smoker, you could smoke a pack of cigarettes for 20 years and eventually something's going to happen on the inside. And so it isn't
There's
one
a tipping
thing.
point.
There is a tipping point.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's not one thing, it's many things. And it's
so you have to
same.
change everything.
You do. And
Yeah.
so it's the same with your healing platform. It's not one thing. There's no magic bullet that gets you well. And let's face it.
It's not one herb. It's not one supplement. It's not one therapy.
It's a lot of things. And you have to fine-tune that and have a team that you believe in that can help you, of experts, to tweak what you do. And every year I go to a clinic and there's a doctor that I see, and based on my blood work and based on how I feel, we tweak things, in my supplementation plan and otherwise. And so you constantly have to be aware of what's going on in your body, and it's a full-time job.
What conventional therapies did you have? Because I don't think we talked about that. Did you have the mastectomy? Did you have anything?
So I decided not to do any of what my doctors in my small hometown in Connecticut were telling me to do. I did not have a mastectomy. I did not do chemo. I did not do radiation. And they all looked at me and told me I was going to die, which was a very cruel thing to do.
And look at you.
And so I was like,
The Walking Dead right here, right?
Yeah. So I decided to go for a second opinion.
Yeah.
And I went to see a doctor that someone recommended in Houston at MD Anderson Cancer Center. And by the time I got there, it was almost 3 months, 2.5 months later, and I'd already implemented this diet and lifestyle change.
Major radical change.
Major radical. And when I got there, all my tumor markers and my blood work were in normal range, which was like so cool.
Yeah. And was the lump still there?
Well, I had a biopsy. My tumor was very tiny. It was 0.09 centimeters, but it was very aggressive.
Yeah.
So when they did the biopsy, they were able to remove most of the tumor.
Gotcha.
When I went down to Houston, they performed a lumpectomy. So they removed the rest of the tumor and a margin around the tumor. And I had 2 lymph nodes that were involved. And my lymph nodes were clean. The margins were clean, which was also a big surprise to the doctors. So they were like, well, whatever you're doing, it's working, and you need to continue it. And
but we don't care. We don't care what you're doing.
We just want you to know to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's
so. But they were at least open to hear what I was doing.
That's good. A lot of times they aren't. They're just like
not.
Either they're whatever you're doing is doing, keep doing it. They don't really care. They don't really want to know, or sometimes they will tell you you're doing the wrong thing, even though you're getting good results.
Exactly. Well, they suggested that I should possibly, I had already told them there was no way I was going to do chemo or radiation. I had made that decision early on, and I made that decision with education.
Did you have an instinctive resistance to it in the beginning? I mean, I did.
Yes, I did.
But did you know anything about, had you had any cancer experience in your life? Me neither, right?
No.
So we had that in common. It's
I
like
just had
instincts, intuition, maybe the Holy Spirit talking to you. There's just something didn't line up.
Well, for
didn't
me,
have a peace about it.
No, I did not have a peace about it. And for me, being an athlete, I knew that my body would be poisoned. And I didn't, for me, somehow logically, it didn't work for me logically. And I said, I want to find out why. What is the cause of this? What's really going on in my body? I don't want a Band-Aid. I really want to heal my cells. I want to heal myself.
Get to the root cause.
And God really gave me a peace about the path that I chose. And let's face it, we're all going to die. But I'm not going to die puking over toilet bowl. So I just decided that I wanted to do it my way. And you have to have
Are you a firstborn?
Yes.
Only child?
No.
Okay.
But
I'm an only child, which is like a firstborn.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
got to do it my way.
That's why we get along.
Yeah. So and by the way, a lot of people that have done it, made the decisions we made, were, firstborn or only child, or had that very, very sort of type A personality, that contributed to getting cancer, but also gave them sort of the internal fortitude to rebel against the system, to say, no, to kind of stand up for yourself. Because I know certain personality types, it's very hard to stand up for yourself. And some people, especially if like a middle child, not to get too psychological about it, but a lot of people that are a middle child, they're a peacemaker.
Yes, they are.
And they're the get along guy or gal, and they've never really been in a position to stand up for themselves or oppose authority. And it's harder for people like that.
It is.
To do it. But you still got to do it.
Even though we had the guts to do it, it's still hard.
It's still hard.
Because all my friends told me I was crazy.
Right.
Now, my parents were the only two people that said, you just go right ahead and
that's wonderful.
Fulfill your, whatever it is you feel is right. We're behind you 100%. Mm-hmm. Both of my parents, my mom had uterine cancer when she was 30 after having 3 babies.
The hardest part for most cancer patients is all the voices around them telling them, you have to do it this way. Yes. Even when their instincts are telling them, do not do that, right?
It's true. You're really managing all their emotions. And so I purposely didn't tell a lot of people at the very beginning because I didn't want my energies going to that place. Yeah. I knew that I had to really work hard to find the information I needed and to embark on this journey. It all seems easy now. I'm sure it does to you as well. But at the time, when I think about it, now that we're talking about it, even though it was 14 years ago,
14 years.
14 years.
Did you catch that? 14.
I'm reliving it. I'm reliving the fear that the doctors put into you and your friends. And so, but in the midst of all of that, God gave me the most amazing peace, the peace beyond understanding.
Yes.
Philippians.
Yes, I felt it.
That is my verse. And I had a knowing that this was right. And so whether I was going to have another year or another 14 years or maybe 20 more years, I feel great. I'm able to do everything that I want to do. I feel good. I enjoy life. I've really cut down on my work hours. I'm earning about a third of what I used to earn. I'm working 50-hour weeks instead of 90-hour weeks. And I'm able to give back to my community, which I think, like you, it's so important to me. If I could be out in my community full time, be able to pay my mortgage and help people for the rest of my life, that would make me so happy.
Much joy and satisfaction doing
really
this kind of thing, which is obvious why you're a part of this organization, why you're doing what you're doing, why you're sitting here with me. And this is an important concept, but your life may be killing you. Mm-hmm. Your job, your relationships, your emotions, your food, the life you're living right now may be killing you. But the good thing is the power of that information is that you can change your life. And when you radically change your life, like Julia did, like I did, then you can create a life that promotes health and happiness, right?
Oh my gosh, it's so much better. My life is so much better than it used to be. And I thought my life was great.
Right.
I had the condo,
lots of money, and
living in Connecticut, had all the money, had the designer shoes in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, give me some flip-flops and, let me get out there on the beach and start talking to people and just having a more relaxed lifestyle. And it really does make a difference. And being here this week has been so encouraging for me. Meeting you, meeting others who, we share the same gifts. We want to help other people.
Yeah, and it's fun because there's such a neat bond between not only cancer survivors, but people that have done it the natural way and had very little support. Everybody thought you were nuts, and you got your health back.
So now we're like brothers and sisters.
Well, and we're believers too. So we're brothers and sisters in the Lord, which is really sweet.
Yeah, which is really great. Yeah.
Health is more valuable than wealth. It's more valuable than wealth, and I know you know that.
I do.
And no job is worth your health. There's no substitution.
There isn't. And I'm so glad I got to meet you. So now we're going to be brothers and sisters forever, and it's going to be great. So I'm excited and I'm happy, and we all need to get out there and do what we can. And it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
But, you know, I call it going to the office of health and wellness every morning.
Yeah, I love that.
And, you know, it's like you need to think consciously. I get up and I pray. I start off with prayer, and then I say, okay, what am I putting in my body this morning? What am I having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What am I going to put into my world today? When am I going to get my peaceful time, my time to work out, my time to take a walk or get to the gym? What am I going to do today to give back?
You have to plan to be successful.
You do.
And that's not just in business, that's in health.
It is.
In life. And making plans means planning your meals. What am I going to eat? When am I going to exercise? When am I going to have time for, devotion or quiet time or, to relax?
Yeah.
What's my sleep schedule going to be? I mean, you really have to plan your day out.
You
do. If you want to live a healthy life, you can't just go scatterbrained, just kind of like, this is what happens. People get so busy, they're working like crazy, and then all of a sudden they're starving. Where's the closest place I can get? Where's the Taco Bell?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
And so many people live that way.
Yes, they do, day to day.
90-mile-an-hour life with really no planning, and then, do that for years, and you find yourself just broke down.
And we want to prevent disease.
Yes.
So, all the people out there that are listening that are even teens or in their 20s, now is the time to really start looking at your life, looking at yourself on a cellular level and saying, okay, what am I going to do to stay healthy? And
we're trying to catch people early.
We are. We don't want them to go through what we went through, right?
That's right.
It wasn't pleasant.
That's right. So, you have a book.
I have a book that I self-published in 2006 called Breast Cancer, the Notebook. And I did a lot of speaking engagements, Fox News, CBS, NBC. But one really cool thing that I did was I went to the White House. I was invited to go to the White House by then First Lady Laura Bush, who was very, very active in women's health, heart disease and breast cancer, and talk to some of the people there about finding ways to translate information into a lot of other languages. There are a lot of women in the world, and men, who get breast cancer who don't really have education. They don't have research. They can't find it. Or in their cultures, it's not cool to talk about their breasts. And so we were trying to find ways to reach more broadly on a global level to educate women and men about breast cancer. The World Health Organization reports on cancer every year in June. And in their opening paragraphs for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, they have said that if we could teach individuals, communities, and countries about making better lifestyle choices, i.e. water, food, diet, stress, we could reduce cancers globally by 30%. And that is a huge number.
They know it.
They know it.
The World Health Organization knows it.
And why aren't we doing it?
Because, we know why. Because there's no financial incentive in conventional medicine to promote nutrition and lifestyle medicine. It's all promoting pharmaceuticals and surgical procedures.
Yes.
That's the world we're living in, unfortunately.
It is.
And that's why cancer rates worldwide are skyrocketing. Not only that, but because of westernization of countries that are developing countries that are adopting McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, and KFC, instead of they're abandoning their traditional diets for fast food. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, Julia, thank you.
It was so great
much.
Meeting you.
And let's talk. Where can people find you?
They can find me on juliachiapetta.com.
Okay, I'll put a link below the video.
And also they can find me through annieappleseedproject.org.
Yes, I will put that link below the video.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for sitting with us. Thanks for telling your story. 14-year survivor, people. That is awesome. That is awesome. And so make sure you please share this video. Share it with people that you care about. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out chrisbeatcancer.com. There's tons of info on nutrition and natural therapies and lots more survivor stories just like Julia's. So thanks for watching. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.